Hello, Steve White, Tripway89 for SteveOuts89. Well, got a couple little news stories on Star Trek, and I sort of saw them and I wasn't sure if they deserved a video, and I thought, I'll just do one for both of them. So, I guess, basically, Star Trek Discovery's ratings are in, and again, it's at the bottom of the ratings, and I'll get to that later, because the real news is about Star Trek Prodigy. Kate Mulgrew did an interview on a podcast with this guy, Dennis Miller, Plus One, his podcast, on May 12th. And she basically gave away the start of the series. She basically talked through the opening of the series. She said there's 5 kids, they're incarcerated in prison, they're on an obscure planet in an uncharted part of the galaxy, they escape from the prison, they're being pursued by guards, and they come across a starship buried on the surface of the planet. Now I'm guessing it's a desert planet, but I'm not sure. They break into it. They are trying to get it flying. They're trying to get the shields up, trying to escape. And up pops the Janeway hologram, who basically helps them and says, "Do you need help?" and saves the day. Now, I find this a little bit worrying, because why would she help a bunch of prisoners steal a starship? I mean, if she understands where she is and who she is and what's happening and who these people are, why would she help them? She must just be like an automaton, just sort of like programmed, and I don't see her being a very good character or a very good use of Janeway, because from what I've seen from this example, she doesn't know what's happening. She's not really connected to reality. She's just sort of a robot. So a bit disappointed there, because I thought there must be something to it. Why would she help these kids? How is this working? At first I thought she was speaking to these kids through a hologram, and trying to get them to give up the ship or something, or to give themselves up or something and form a relationship with them. Then we find out she's literally a hologram, and it's not actually Janeway using a hologram to talk or anything. And now it's like she's just like an automaton, and she's just not connected to reality. So I'm not feeling very inspired there. So that's that. So that's news, but I don't find it inspiring. Now, so far as the ratings, now basically out of 24 scripted shows on CBS for 2020-21, Star Trek Discovery was literally on the bottom. It was the lowest rated out of all of them. It was, out of 24, it was 24. It got, for the 18 to 49 demographic, a 0.21. The next highest one was 0.23, which was One Day at a Time, which was cancelled. Now, its actual viewers were 1.7 million, but that was a little bit higher than the two above it, but they got a higher demographic, and the demographic apparently is more important. So it was like the third rated lowest show based on viewers, and that put it pretty much right next to Clarice, which is Kurtzman's other show, so basically Kurtzman's 2 shows are at the bottom of the pile. So what does that say about his ability to connect with people and to be popular and make quality shows, if his 2 shows are on the bottom of the pile? Now, I know what people are going to say, because I've had this argument in the comments section. It was already on TV. It's a repeat. No, it's not a repeat. It's its first screening on network TV. It was on a streaming service behind a paywall when very few people could access it, only people who were members of CBS All Access, and there weren't a lot of members of CBS All Access, and most of them were there for the sports. They weren't there for Discovery, and that was the problem, because Star Trek Discovery didn't bring in the audience, and the network folded, the streaming service folded. There weren't enough viewers, there weren't enough subscribers, and they basically had to cancel it and take the new content from Paramount when they merged and create Paramount Plus instead. So people who argued that it was successful, it just, viewing wise, it just wasn't. And also, let's be real, most of the people who did watch it on streaming watched it on TV as well, because they didn't want it to fail. You did. So, and even if those numbers have been carried on, it still would have been very low on the ratings. Even with that extra little boost, the people who did watch it on streaming, it still would have been one of the lowest rating ones, because people aren't aware of it. It's not popular. it's not, hasn't connected with people, it hasn't resonated, it hasn't made people want to come back and watch it again, it hasn't excited people, it hasn't hasn't inspired people. It hasn't captured people's imagination. It just hasn't. It just hasn't. And it's a bit sad. It's a bit disappointing. It's not surprising. And I mean, because we saw this happen in other areas where it's screened in Canada and the UK. Same problem. Basically, no one watched it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's not popular and it's not good. And that's why it's not popular. And I just want it to end and for them to create another show and just go back to making good Star Trek, which is actually about exploring space and the human condition and, optimism and all that. It's something we haven't had for a while. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Bye.